Okay. People say, there's this saying, right? And it's really funny. There's actually two sayings. One is you can't judge a book by its cover. That's actually a really good one. Number two is you can't judge someone just because they're different. That's another one. That's like two. And number three is, it's actually a really funny one. You can't judge. There's a few here. I didn't know that. You can't judge a person by its personality. That's another one. You can't judge a person by its face. You can't judge a person by what he or she looks like. That's another one. You can't judge this. I think this is a funny one. It's from The Lion Guard. If you haven't seen The Lion Guard, it's cute. I don't watch it because, And then they actually made an episode of this, and I'm glad they did, and it says you can't judge a hyena by its spots. It's a really funny saying. I know it sounds ridiculous, but they actually made that episode. It's about Kion and Jazuri. She's a hyena, he's a lion, and they don't see eye to eye. And the only reason I think they called that episode is because from The Lion King, when Simba defeats the hyenas, and lions don't trust hyenas, of course, and hyenas are kind of wacky, naughty, nasty creatures. They're like big dogs, basically, and that's why lions don't like them, because they're so naughty and wild and crazy. So yeah, that's actually very clever. So I'm glad they made that episode of The Lion Guard a reference back to The Lion King, the first Lion King movie. I actually liked that first movie. It was a really good one. And I'm glad they named it You Can't Judge a Hyena by Its Spots. So good on them. Good on them for Disney. So good on them. Okay, so we're getting off topic. Okay, so what I mean is you can't judge a person by its personality or he or she looks like. What I mean by that is some people out there are mistrustful. Now, mistrustful means that you can't trust someone. And in movies, of course, you see characters, say, I don't trust that guy, or I don't trust that girl either. So they're kind of in that. Like in movies, they're kind of like that. And I know some characters are mistrustful. Emma from Once Upon a Time, it's a really good show. Go and watch it. Emma's kind of mistrustful. I think that's it. I think she's, she doesn't look mistrustful, but, mistrustful. So yeah. And the only reason people mistrust someone is because in movies, in the movie world, there's always going to be a bad guy or a villain, and someday they're going to ask for help, or they're going to become good. I have two ways of this, and they say, I don't know, I don't trust her, she looks nice but inside she's a devil. Or someone might say, I don't know, I don't trust her, the things she's done is terrible to us. So those are kind of sayings from movies, I guess. So, that's in the movie world. I'm talking about in the movie world. But in real life, there's no such thing as a villain or a bad guy. But in my mind, I think people are bad. I would say bad guy. Well, actually, there are a couple of bad guys out there in the world, but bad people as well. Now, back at the country, there was this girl I met. I've met her like a couple of times as well. She's moved now to a different location, so that's good for me. Yeah. At first, we didn't get along. You see, with me, I tend to get, I wouldn't say mistrustful, but when it comes to people, I kind of turn on them like straight away. Only because I don't trust them. And that's kind of me protecting myself. And I've done that, not a lot, but I've done that recently. And I've done that a little today, like during the week. And I'll get to that in a sec. So I didn't like this girl at all. I had no connection to her at all. She was so, what's that word? She was so, I wouldn't say bossy, but she was just so, is demanding a word for bossy? I think it is. She was a bit of, what's the word? Sorry, just, what's the word? I'll just say demanding. I wouldn't say she's demanding. I'll just say, like, you know how people sometimes don't take orders from people? Yeah, she's kind of like that. And, I don't like that. Like, I don't like, I don't like, being bossed around or getting ordered by people, especially, kids. Like, they're my age or more, or, not less, I wouldn't say, but more. So we never got along ever, and the teachers tried, and it just never worked out for us. So we just parted our separate ways, I guess. Eventually she moved, so that's good for me. What else? Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. You can't judge someone because of their personality or, by their spots, even though they don't have spots. By the personality or what he and she look. And it's also kind of like, if people don't like you, it's because of their jealousy. Now, I know we talked about a lot of jealousy, but I'm bringing it back up again. People are jealous of your appearances, and I talked about this before, and it's kind of really stupid, because everybody is pretty in their own way, and they shouldn't have to look up to someone who's so prettier than them or more smarter than them. It's kind of, when you think about it, it's kind of stupid, really, because maybe I got a little bit jealous, only a little. I don't get a lot of jealous. I just get a little bit jealous. I'm not a jealous person at all. I get a little bit jealous sometimes. But yeah, hopefully that's passed. So yeah. Also, what I said earlier, I don't want to get into too much detail, but let's just say things have been different for us in life, and someone out there broke someone's heart, and not going into too much detail. That's all I'm going to say on that one. So yeah, that's why I've been, different to this person. Okay, anyway, so that's all the detail I'm giving you. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is, I know, when you judge someone, I'm not really a judgy person. I know people out there are judgy to others, the way they look and stuff. I think judging is more like appearances and stuff. And yeah. So anyway, back to this person. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, she gave me a really hard time, and yeah, she gave me like a really hard time. You have no idea. She gave me like a really hard time in the country, and luckily she's gone now, and yeah, because remember, I talked about my best friend. And she was kind of involved in it. We were kind of involved with it as well. And, yeah, so that's probably over. I know I've been hearing stuff from my friends saying that they're back together. They're not, as friends, of course. And I'm like, why would you do that? I think there's something wrong with those girls, especially this other girl that I'm going to mention in a minute. So, yeah, we were dealing with that. Meanwhile, there was this girl, and she was older than us, and my friend recently got out of high school because she's in Was she in year 12 when I was there though? I think, no, she was in year 11, so she was going to leave anyway. And this girl was older than me. Not older than me, but she was about... And she was, I can't say a lot about this. She was older than me because she was in year 12, and also my friend was in year 12. So, you know, they used to be like best friends with each other until I think, I don't know what happened, but I think that they started teaming up on me. And, you know, they started hugging my friend and talking to her and leaving me out because they actually made me feel like I was a bad guy, which I wasn't the bad guy. They were the bad guys, by the way. So, you know, they were, yeah. So anyway, they were trying to give her hugs and try to, you know, make me jealous, which it didn't. Okay, maybe it did, but yeah, this was a while ago, you guys. So, you know, so like I said, you can't judge people by its cover or personality, you know, but sometimes you get the feeling that they're up to something, and that's not judging a person. That's kind of like thinking that she's different than what she is. You know, I've talked about True Colors, not the song from the Trolls, True Colors, because that song is really good and I love that song. I'm talking about the autism talk that I did about True Colors. Yeah, and what was I going to say? And I'm running out of time actually. And anyway, so to wrap things up, when you meet someone for the first time, don't judge them by what they look like until you get to know them. And then if it doesn't work out, then yeah. Because people sometimes can judge people by what they look like or their personality, which sometimes I don't really judge people. So this is hard for me to explain. So I just don't judge someone if they're different or a little bit different than you or anything like that. You should accept people for who they are. So my advice is don't judge people straight away. You can judge them later when you're at home and safe and sound. So that's my advice. I've got to go because I'm running out of time and my time is going 41. Anyway, that's all I've got time for, guys. Like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.